The standard biological strategy for a wild cat is remarkably consistent. Whether it's a house cat or jaguar, they generally hunt alone, stay active during twilight, and rely on shadows to ambush their prey. This strategy is built for explosive, short-duration power. It requires a closed environment with enough foliage or terrain to conceal a hunter before it commits to a high-speed burst. But millions of years ago, a specific lineage of macaronodonts, known as Homotherium, discarded these rules entirely. Despite being biological outliers, they became the most successful big cats to ever walk the earth. While its famous cousin, Smilodon, was highly successful but limited to the Americas, Homotherium managed a near-total global conquest, spreading across 4 continents, from the American West to Southern Africa and Eastern Asia. Felines are traditionally defined by stealth and isolation. Yet, the single species that achieved the greatest geographic range in history did so by abandoning the very traits that made its relatives successful. Homotherium's anatomy was an aggressive departure from the typical feline frame. Its skeleton reveals a long neck, elongated forelimbs, and a sharply sloping back, proportions more commonly associated with a hyena. This musculoskeletal structure was built for the steady, relentless pace of a pursuit predator. Instead of sprinting, Homotherium specialized in long-distance endurance, chasing prey across vast landscapes until the target reached total physical exhaustion. Genetic evidence confirms this functional shift. In 2020, researchers analyzed ancient DNA from a fossil preserved in the Canadian permafrost, finding specific genomic adaptations for daytime activity, a rarity for a family that usually thrives in the dark. The DNA also showed positive selection on genes for respiratory efficiency and blood flow for stamina, alongside specific brain adaptations required to hunt in coordinated packs. Evolution rarely rewrites a successful biological blueprint without massive external pressure. For a cat to trade its explosive power for marathon endurance, it must have been pushed by an environment that rendered the old rules obsolete. The origin of these strange traits traces back 10 million years to the Miocene epoch, on the high-altitude expanse of the Tibetan Plateau. In 2023, scientists reported the discovery of a fossilized skull from a cat called Amphimacrotus hasingensis. It was an ancestral missing link that already exhibited the prototype of the Homotherium lifestyle. Unlike solitary hunters, this cat had eyes positioned toward the sides of its skull, widening its view to spot prey and coordinate with hunting partners. The wide forehead housed enlarged sinuses, a critical adaptation for efficient breathing and processing oxygen during long-distance endurance runs. Further evidence at the site, a fossil forepaw with a healed injury, suggests these cats were already social. A cat with a crippled paw cannot hunt for itself. Its survival proves it was part of a group that provided care and protection. This sudden cluster of radical biological and social transitions suggests these cats weren't just evolving, they were responding to a specific monumental shift in their world. That catalyst was a massive tectonic collision between the Indian and Eurasian plates. This event violently thrust the Himalayas upward, creating the highest and largest plateau on Earth. When the plateau reached its current height 10 million years ago, it disrupted existing climate systems, blocking moisture and plunging the entire region into a period of extreme cooling and desiccation. Dense forests rapidly died off and were replaced by vast, dry plains. In this new, exposed landscape, the traditional feline ambush strategy became a liability. With no cover to hide in, prey could spot a predator from a mile away and had plenty of room to flee. Success now favored hunters with the stamina to chase prey over great distances and the coordination to work as a team. Security was also an issue. It hosted massive bone-crushing hyenas and giant bears. In an environment with no place to hide, being a solitary hunter was no longer just difficult, it was lethal. To survive this tectonic crucible, this lineage of cats was forced to break the evolutionary rules of its family, trading stealth for stamina and isolation for the safety of the pack. As the Earth's climate continued to cool and dry through the Pliocene and Pleistocene, the conditions that forged this anti-cat began to manifest on a global scale. Forests retreated and grasslands expanded across every continent. Having mastered this terrain in Tibet, Homotherium followed its ideal ecosystem out of Asia. This strategy made it the apex predator of the grasslands, achieving a global dominance few mammals ever matched. It is a profound example of how geology shapes life. The social structure and physical endurance of this global predator trace directly back to a single plate collision millions of years in the past. Yet, despite mastering the open world, Homotherium mysteriously vanished at the end of the Pleistocene. Their extinction coincided with the arrival of a new apex predator that was spreading globally using the exact same ecological strategy. Early Homo sapiens were also highly social, diurnal, endurance-running pack hunters. We also specialized in chasing large prey over open terrain until they reached exhaustion. Homotherium's reign ended because of a total niche overlap. The open plains were vast, but they were not big enough for both the ultimate feline and the ultimate primate to run the exact same evolutionary program.